Hey guys, we're going to get you to this show in just a few seconds. I'm Dan Bespers here to introduce this episode of Snack Size DFS with my good buddy, Brenton Eckersley. You can find Brenton on Twitter at Terrain72. And you can find our partners at BetOnline at BetOnline. They're the world's most trusted betting platform. And with March Madness starting in just a few short hours, they can be your number one source for betting on all that madness. Whether you're doing it for a first time or you've been betting on March Madness forever, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. They've got the largest selection of odds on college hoops and a $200,000 bracket contest that's open right now, making them your continued number one sports betting source. They'll take you from every Cinderella story and over to hockey if you want to. And guess what? Baseball is going like as we speak. The Dodgers, I think, and Cubs are playing in Tokyo. BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Make sure to subscribe to Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball so you get all of our DFS shows as they drop. We've also got baseball draft shows happening as we speak. We've got my full season NBA shows and so much more on the way. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Comments are open for Brenton. And now I'm turning it over to the aforementioned Brenton Eckersley. Snack Size DFS, here we go.
Welcome to Snack Size DFS, everybody. Brenton Eckersley here, back with you. Apologies for not being here for a week, bang on a week. I just had a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm really hoping to get some DK cards done for you this week. I'm planning on Tuesday today and also Thursday and Saturday. So hopefully back for 3 cards this week. Life comes at you. I can't be here all the time, unfortunately. Work's just been interfering and also kid stuff. But I'm here. It's the Tuesday. That's the wrong slide. It's Tuesday, March the 18th. As I said, bear with me while I get used to the new platform. But hey, the music's back. You don't have to hear me singing anymore, which is awesome. Let's drop me down into the corner here. Let's make this bigger so I can actually see what's going on. We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Snack Size DFS. If you haven't been here before, I welcome you in. This is a bite-sized and condensed breakdown of DraftKings NBA DFS cards. Tuesday, March the 18th, game notes. We try to get through this as fast as possible for you. Snack Size DFS is just a way to get you primed and lubricated for the coming day's DraftKings card. Appreciate all your support. Let's get into it. 4 games on. It's a cute little card here from the NBA and from DraftKings. So let's look at some game notes. Game pace notes here for the day. The fast one of the day is definitely going to be the Atlanta at Charlotte game. That's a 238 game total from Vegas already. I expect that could even pump higher than that. And the slow one of the day is going to be Brooklyn taking on Boston. Hard to find some real interest in the slow games, to be honest, today. Attack and stack. This is where we look at teams that you can definitely attack. Atlanta at Charlotte, and also back the other way, Charlotte at Atlanta, because Charlotte will get a serious pace bump here in the fastest game of the day. And then down the bottom there, pace bumps. Yes, it's Charlotte taking on Atlanta. And also, the Clippers will get a decent pace bump versus Cleveland. Have to forewarn you, though, I found very little to be interested in that game. Let's jump into the Atlanta-Charlotte game. First up, we have Atlanta. No back-to-backs here. Just noticed my pictures covering up some names there, but we'll get through this. We'll work out. And if I have to rework these slides just to suit StreamYard, then so be it. On the Atlanta side of the ball, at the moment we have Trey Probable, always probable, toying around with the NBA after they fined them for listing him out for 1 game some time ago. Capella and Levert are the interesting ones here, out for for Atlanta. Trae Young himself at 9,800. Look, I love targeting Charlotte at the point guard position. Back the other way, we can target Trae Young when looking at teams playing Atlanta as well. So Charlotte at point guard is a great spot to attack. 62 DK points 3 games ago only versus Charlotte. Absolutely in play here, Trae Young. This could be another upside game, and I really like the price. Onyeka Okongwu, 7,500. He's coming off a couple of really big games in the last 2. They were versus the Clippers and Brooklyn. Obviously, Brooklyn are a little bit easier at center than Charlotte are, but it's worth noting that Ivica Zubac, who is also on this card, dropped 51 on Charlotte in the last game. So no Capella. Onyeka Okongwu could be in for a big one here versus the Charlotte Hornets. Vic Krejci is the guy I like here without Levert. Levert going out opens up minutes. Obviously, Levert been coming off the bench, but that's 28 to 29 minutes that we need to fill elsewhere in the Hawks lineup. You could look at George Niang. You could look at Zach Risachet. I'm going to look at Vic Krejci here. I just like the fact that this guy can get a few more peripheral stats. Nyang can also do that. Risachet is more of just a shooter, and he needs his shot to go in. I do like this with for Vic Krejci a bit more than the other 2, though. And also, just keep on noting that we can target Charlotte on the wings. Over to the Charlotte side of the ball, this is a definite pace-up game for the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball probable. We expect him to play. The big news on this team is that Miles Bridges has already been ruled out for the Tuesday, so that opens up some value elsewhere. With Bridges out, LaMelo Ball, number 1 Bridges is out, so usage has to go elsewhere. It's going to go to LaMelo. It's also going to go a little bit more to Mark Williams, but I just couldn't find the value in Mark Williams' price, to be honest. 9,500 though for LaMelo Ball. He had 47 DK points versus Atlanta, but if you check the box score, 28 field goal percentage in that game and only 27% from 3 points. His rebounds have been down in the last couple of games. Bridges out. All we need is a little bit of increase in those field goal attempt percentages, and we have an upside game here for LaMelo. Moussa Diabate, so hasn't really been on the radar lately, but with Bridges out, you can probably expect him to start at power forward. 3,200 is just a drop-in injury replacement play. They could start anybody, to be honest. When a wing goes out, it doesn't necessarily mean the same position is going to just come back in like a power forward as Bridges plays, but I expect Moussa Diabate here to start at 3,200. Daquan Jeffries is another one. He was on my radar anyway at 4K for the Charlotte Hornets. Now that Bridges is out, that's more usage. You can look at Nick Smith Jr. You can look at a couple of other guys here for Charlotte. I just like Daquan Jeffries, who's been getting the minutes for Charlotte anyway, you know, hovering around that 25 to 30 DK points at 4K. With Bridges out, there's more shot attempts here. There's potentially more rebounds. They play different positions, obviously, but I like the upside here for Jeffries with no Bridges. Let's move on to the next one. Slower game. Brooklyn taking on Boston in Boston. Just looking at the game history here, Brooklyn have been keeping things much, much closer. They've turned into a much better team than probably anybody expected in the second half of this season. So we have 2 close ones. One of those close ones only a few games ago. We did have a 20-point blowout earlier in the season. For the Nets, Noah Clowney and D'Angelo Russell and Isaiah Williams all listed probable. Look, that probably just limits some upside of some of the lower price guys. I like Cam Johnson here at 7,100. Just keep in mind here, both Cam Johnson and Keon Johnson both had $1,000 price jumps, which is to be expected. They're both balling at the moment. Cam Johnson at 7,100. He did have a couple of decent games versus Boston in the close games. I actually like Keon Johnson here more at the $1,000 price, saving 6,100. 36 DK points versus Boston. And note that Russell was in on that game. That's the key with Keon Johnson. Is Russell out, then you can just about plug in and play him. But I like that he scored 36 DK points versus Boston when D'Angelo was there. Zaire Williams, a little bit more of a pinata play, 4,900, 30-plus minutes in his last 5 games. We need the shots to go in with Zaire. He probably has lower upside. Maybe that's the other way around. Let's think of it this way. Zaire Williams probably has a lower floor, higher upside kind of fantasy game, so I don't mind him here at a pinata play at 4,900. On the Boston side of things, it's a tough one here. It's going to be a slow matchup. As we know, I tend to stay away from the high price guys in those situations. I'd rather spend my money on guys like Trey and LaMelo in a much faster matchup. But let's look at the injury report. Tatum has come up as questionable. Obviously, that's going to be a big one, and we'll need to adjust accordingly around it. Al Horford, Derek White, both probable. Jaylen Brown, another big one here. So he's listed out again. That does bring Tatum into play for me, who is questionable. Keep an eye, obviously. 10,800 for Tatum, 65 and 60 DK points versus Brooklyn in those. Actually, in one of those games, it was a close game, and the 60-point DK game, I believe, was in the blowout. So, look, he's definitely in play. 10,800 is a high price to pay in a slow-paced game for me. I would much rather look around that $9,000 mark for guys we've already mentioned in Trae Young, LaMelo Ball. I can't talk you out of Tatum, though. With Brown not there, it is tough to ignore him. Look, anything could happen here. I just think the upside value or the meat on the bone there might be slightly capped with Tatum. Peyton Pritchard is a guy I am looking at with no Jaylen Brown. Yes, different positions. 5,800 for Peyton Pritchard here. 39 DK points versus Brooklyn in the last game, the close one. Usage and minutes will both go up with Brown out, in my opinion, whereas Derek White, the usage will go up at 7,300, but the minutes are already sky high around that 35 to 37 minute mark. We're talking about Derek White now, consistent 30 to 35 DK point guy. He does have upside with no Brown. The minutes will stay where they are. That's the one thing that leads me to look at Pritchard more than Derek White here. Another guy just to drop in the bottom of the barrel there. If we have no Brown, Sam Hauser will almost definitely get the start. He's very hit and miss. So Sam Hauser at 4,200 is your pinata play. Milwaukee in the third game, taking on Golden State Warriors. Nothing on the injury report yet for Milwaukee. Let's look at the top 2 guys. It's Giannis at 11.5. He is always in play. We know what Giannis is capable of. He hasn't faced Golden State this season, as far as I can tell in the history. And also the big positions, the power forward and the center for Golden State, are both down near the bottom for fantasy points given up. Look, it's Giannis. He could absolutely smash through 70 to 75 DK points in any given game. I can't talk you out of him. I will just be looking elsewhere in this one. Dame, though, Damian Lillard at 8,500. I absolutely love this price versus Golden State for Damian Lillard. He's probably my favorite play on the board at those high prices. We've already got LaMelo. We've already got Trey. Yes, we have point guards a million in this card. It's Dame for me over the other two potentially. He's probably going to be the thumbnail here. Look, it's going to be a little bit of a GPP play potentially, because you will have the smart DFS players looking at that fast game, Trey versus Ball. Here's a bit of a differential for you with Dame Lillard at 8,500. Love the price. It's the lowest since January. Can't argue with playing Dame as the first guy in the card here. And then we have the Milwaukee washing machine of Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., and Taurean Prince. Last time I landed on Taurean Prince, I'm probably landing on Kevin Porter Jr. here at the discount of $300, $4,100 for Taurean Prince, $3,800 for KPJ. Lower floor for KPJ, although that has been up a little bit recently with some more minutes for Milwaukee. I just love the upside of KPJ. He can score in bunches, we know it. If he gets some extra peripheral stats and even pushes some higher minutes than 3,800 is my guy here for Kevin Porter Jr. Back-to-back on Monday, Tuesday. That's hidden there by my beautiful face, but it is a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back for Golden State. So they're playing today. The news at the time of recording here, Steph Curry and Quentin Post were both questionable for the Monday. Just watch the news. Gary Payton III was ruled in, and Pods was already ruled out on the Monday. If Pods comes in on the back-to-back on the Tuesday, I won't be looking at him until he gets his legs back under him. We just need to watch news with Quinton Post, and Steph Curry especially. So Curry himself, questionable on the Monday, 9,200. This is another great price for a point guard in this card. He's probably going to be like fourth in my list here behind Dame, then probably followed by Trey, and then followed by LaMelo. Curry would be the fourth guy on the list here for me. There's a lot of point guards at high prices. It's a great price. He dropped 53 versus Milwaukee in the last game. Watch the back-to-back, of course. A couple of guys here to look at if we have no Curry. We have Buddy Hield at 4,500. Pat Spencer could get some serious burn here if Curry can't go on the back-to-back on the Tuesday. He's only 3K. And I guess we have to watch Guy Santos as well, just for extra minutes. The kind of higher floor, lower upside guy at the moment is Moses Moody with no Pajemski, 5,300. That's a $500 price jump, but he is just simply still in play for a safe floor, lower upside kind of play. The upside will go higher if Curry can't go in this one. Jimmy Butler, again, this is a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back. Butler's not on the report for the Monday. Could he play? Could he just drop out on the Tuesday? Absolutely. But 7,900. He did have 47 DK points versus Milwaukee. He's a little bit capped, it seems, now that he's not with Miami. He's on a team where he's certainly not the number one banana. So 7,900 is an okay price. He's probably not going to burn you at that price if you need to land there. Not my favorite play of the day, but sometimes we just need to find a guy who will fit our team structure. 7,900 for Jimmy Butler is an okay price. Let's go back to Dan in the studio. He's got a few messages for you, and then we'll wrap up with the last game. Thanks, Dan. Back into the last game of the day here on our nice little 4-game card. Cleveland and the Clippers. Look, I mentioned earlier in the show here that I did find it tough to find much value here. I am going to target the Clippers guys more simply for the pace bump, and there are a couple of positions at the moment on the Cavs that we can attack. The Clippers themselves are very, very tough defensively right now. I found it very hard to go with any of the high-priced guys here from Cleveland. You can see the prices there. Donovan at 8,800, Mobley at 8,700, who has come up as questionable, by the way. Garland at 8K would be my preference out of those three. It's a tough matchup. It's a pace-down matchup. I'm going to probably just swing away from the high-priced guys on Cleveland here. DeAndre Hunter, 5,400. I like this price if Mobley can't go. Different positions, but Hunter may get the start. Dean Wade may get the start. It's probably Wade who gets the start, but we know the upside guy is DeAndre Hunter. 5,400 for him. He'll get extra minutes and usage if Mobley can't go. And Dean Wade would be your bottom of the barrel, $3,300 price tag as an injury replacement if Mobley can't go. On the other side of the ball, it's the Clippers with the pace bump. So Chris Dunn has come up as questionable. James Harden here, another high price point guard, 10-3. This is a price drop. He's regularly beating this. Cleveland don't scare me at the guard positions too much, but I'm going to probably fade Harden here and just look at the guys that I've already mentioned, Ball, Young, even Steph. Dame is the one for me today, but yeah, if you wanted to go contrarian, James Harden at 10-3 wouldn't be a bad option. He's not going to burn you at that price. Kawhi Leonard, 8,100 minutes, really, really high now at the end of the season or nearing the end of the season, which is great. Just lately, we can target Cleveland at power forward, so I don't mind this price for Kawhi. Watch the news on the back-to-back. Is it a back-to-back for... No, it's not. Apologies. That must be an old note. So, yeah, just keep an eye on Kawhi Leonard, another guy you can drop in at that slightly cheaper price point at a different position in the power forward or small forward spot. This is a pace-up game, which keeps my eye on the $8,100 price here for Leonard. He's been consistently putting up 40 to 50 DK points, so I don't mind it. Ivica Zubac here. He's probably my favorite play on the Clippers team. 8,400. He's had a price drop, and right now we can absolutely target Cleveland at the center position. It's a pace-up game. I don't mind this price for Ivica. He can have 50 to 55 on his night as well. And just a couple of swing at the fences, guys. Amir Coffey, 3,400. Batum at 3,300. Those are both your pinata plays. I would like to see Chris Dunn remain out before I'm taking swings at either of those guys. But yeah, we need some low price guys to slot in the high price guys. That's the 4 games covered, guys. My favorite plays here on Tuesday, March the 18th. As mentioned, it's Trey versus Charlotte, and back the other way, it's LaMelo versus Atlanta. I like the Musa Diabate play at Atlanta now that versus Atlanta now that Bridges is ruled out. Keon Johnson is my pick of the Nets versus Boston, and Pritchard is my pick of the Celtics versus the Nets. Dame, as I mentioned, my favorite play of the day versus Golden State, and also Kevin Porter Jr. if you need someone at low pricing versus Golden State. Steph versus Milwaukee is always in play. I like DeAndre Hunter to take on the Clippers only if Mobley is out, and I also like the Zubac versus Cleveland play. That is me done for Tuesday, March the 18th, 2025. Please like and subscribe to the Old Man Squad Network. Dan and I would love it if you did that. You can find me on the socials, Brenton Eckersley, at Terrain72. That's TERRAIN72. And let's just see how I go in wrapping this show up here. Shall we play some music to count us out? Let's play some music to count us out. There we go. Thanks for joining me, guys. Snack Size DFS. I'm hoping to be back in a couple of days. For now, it's back to you in the studio, Dan.
And that was Snack Size DFS with my good buddy Brenton Eckersley. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Welcome back to my outro. I don't know even what I'm doing. What am I even doing here at this point? Brenton's done all the heavy lifting. I'm just here to remind you all to hit that subscribe button on your way out, no matter how you're taking in this content. Hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube, and throw a 5-star if you're listening after the fact on any of the other platforms. Brenton on social is Terrain72. I am Dan Vespers for Old Man Squad. Thank you all once again, everybody. You're the best. Stay tuned. There's always good stuff dropping here at Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball, and we'll see you when we see you. So long for now.